we'll be talking about how to play a guitar. Playing guitar is probably one of the most sought out hobbies in the musical field. As somebody who hasn't played instruments since the 7th grade, I can tell you that playing the guitar is easier than it looks. Today, we will not only learn some fundamental guitar basics and components, but also learn how to play a popular riff. The list of components of guitar is very extensive, so in order to learn a song by the end of this presentation, we will only go over the basics. The two components absolutely necessary when learning the guitar are the strings and frets. Very similar to rows and columns, the strings and frets make a grid-like formation and are used when playing. The strings are the longest lines on the guitar and are the items that you pick, strum, and play. While the frets on the row are metal that the string resonates on along the neck of the board, also known as the fretboard. Imagine that. Most guitars have markers along the odd frets to make finger placements way easier to place. These are noted in the visual aid. The strings are going up and down, and the frets are running side to side. And notice the fret marker in the middle, represented by circular dots. These can vary based off of guitar models, but are generally used the same way. The components of the guitar are very important when learning how to play, but how do we play? You may see in music videos or concerts that there are numerous hand shapes and positions to make when forming different notes on the fretboard. There are two types of making noise on a guitar, that being playing individual notes and chords. Notes are made simply by pressing down on a string along the fretboard and picking the string that you fret. This is put into very basic songs like Seven Nation Army or combined into much more advanced songs such as Fire and Flames. The next step up from playing individual notes is chords. Chords are when you play multiple notes at once. This is made by making a specific shape with your finger placements along multiple strings on the board. Chords and notes can be a bit tricky, so I'm going to show you a very neat trick that can allow you to play numerous songs with one hand shape. Instead of the bland old regular chords, we're going to use what's called a power chord. Power chords are very useful in the way that you place your fingers in a certain way and can keep that shape and move it anywhere along the fretboard to play any note that doesn't sound too bad. Today we're going to learn the most common power chord, which is shown, and I have a guitar for example. We have first finger on the top string on the first fret, and then your second finger on the third fret, or 2 frets out from the first one and down 1 string, and having the first finger on the top string and the second finger on the second string, you can strum, and you have a note. And now what's cool about power chords is you can take them from this fret, you can move them down a fret, you have a different note, you can move them all the way down here, and you still have a note. Now, what you can do with these is you can transition them along the fretboard, move them up and down the strings to make different notes, and you can put them together to make a song. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this very simple power chord, and we're going to transition it along the fretboard in order to make a very popular riff that you might recognize. So, we are going to start with our fret. We're going to go first index finger on the 7th fret, which is 3 dots in from the first fret, which is the 3rd fret. So we have first finger on 7th fret and second finger on the 9th fret on the string below that. And what we're going to do, instead of our normal top 2 strings, is we're going to take this down a string. So we're going to go first finger on the 2nd string, still 7th fret, and our 3rd finger on the 9th fret, bottom 9th fret, 3rd string down. And we're going to strum these 2 together, and we have our first note. And what we're going to do now is we are going to take this, and we're going to move it 2 frets up the fretboard to the 5th and 7th fret, and we are going to move our index finger up a string and our ring finger up a string. So we have the same power chord, we're just moving it over and up. And we're going to strum that. Great. Now we're going to do the same pattern, except for moving 2, we're going to move 1 fret. So we're going to move 1 fret over and 1 fret down. And we're going to strum these 2 again on the 2nd and 4th string, 2nd and 4th fret on the 2nd and 3rd string. And we're going to move this. And for the final note, we're going to take that and move it over to the 2nd and 4th fret. Sorry, the first one was the 4th and 6th fret. This one's the 2nd and 4th, in between the dots. And now we have the 2nd and 4th on the 2nd and 3rd string, and we have our final note. So now if you put these together and play a couple of them at the same time, we end up with this riff. And you could add different notes and different transitions in between and do some cool tricks with the guitar, like muting some strings, playing some open strings in between some of the notes to get a bit more advanced in the song. So you go. And there you have it. You have a very popular riff, one most notably made by Pat Benatar. And now you can take these power chords and different notes and make your own songs or learn ones that have already been made. Oop. And with a little bit of knowledge from the fretboard and strings, playing guitar is fairly simple. With grid-like patterns on the fretboard, composed of frets and strings, these allow guitarists to locate their notes and chords. Notes, chords, and power chords are shapes in the position of the hand to make songs. With the knowledge of these notes, chords, and power chords, we are able to play a song. And remember that playing guitar is a combination of knowledge of the guitar and practice, because nobody became good overnight, even some of your favorite artists. And everybody needs a hobby, especially now. I hope I might have given you the push to learn the 6th string and hopefully pursue a career or just a very intricate hobby with the guitar, as I have. Thank you.